So today we are going to start the new subject entrepreneurship with the first session. So first let us talk what an entrepreneurship is. The term entrepreneurship refers to all of the actions that an individual must take in order to start and manage a business venture in line with the shifting social, political and economic landscape, and anticipating customer likes and dislikes, emotions and behaviors, tastes and fashions, and launching business ventures to satisfy all of these expectations are all covered under the umbrella of entrepreneurship. So, entrepreneurship is the capacity to evaluate risk and launch ventures that are both high risk and well suited to the shifting economic conditions. So, let me just brief you what you are going to learn in this session. During this session, you will be able to understand the concept, meaning, and feature of entrepreneurship, differentiate between employment, self-employment, and entrepreneurship, outline the various types of entrepreneurship, and analyze entrepreneurship as a career option. So, to begin with, to explain you the term entrepreneurship, which has multiple meanings, we can infer that entrepreneurship is a system of conducting business in which opportunities existing within the boundaries of a market are exploited after carefully reviewing all that are available. Self-employment requires that all of the options that exist within the economic system be put to use in the establishment and operation of new organizations. So, in order to keep successfully manage the business based on the recognizable opportunities, a prospective entrepreneur should demonstrate an enthusiasm in looking for investment chances in the market. Thus, going through the responsibilities of entrepreneur, the term entrepreneurship has been finally defined as a functions which cover multiple functions such as establishing an organization, offering self-employment, utilization of available resources, uh, innovation applied to the novel concept, bringing together multiple factors of production in a tangible manner, in a practical manner, from different places, from different maybe resources, then finding and seizing business opportunities in the market that is open to them, bringing them all together. That is entrepreneurship. So how do we define entrepreneurship? There are many definitions which has been already propounded, where I'll give you just some concise definitions. For example, entrepreneurship is that it is a process of pursuing opportunities without a limitation by resources currently in hand, by Brooks in 2009. Another definition is it is the process of doing something new, something different to create wealth for the individual and add value to the society. It's by Kao in 1993. How was this concept evolution evolved? It took years to evolve. And this picture, this diagram depicts the, this diagram represents how years after years and gradually the different researchers, they propounded the definition of entrepreneurship and how this concept evolved through. So it is an outline, this picture, this diagram gives you an outline of the evolution of entrepreneurship, which is depicted in the timeline given along with the schools of thought, which influenced and helped shape the entrepreneurship. The earliest entrepreneurship, how did it come? It was the role of the entrepreneur is likely as ancient as the systems of barter and exchange, we can say, if not older than a term. However, the idea didn't become crucial until economic markets started to intrude into the society. So the crucial role that entrepreneurs play in market economies has been acknowledged by many economists. Yet, despite its central importance in economic activity, the entrepreneur has been a shadowy and elusive figure in the history of economics theory. Historically, merchants, royals, and military commanders were among those who behaved in ways that can be compared to those of modern entrepreneurs. Because how these merchants and these royal figures, the kings and the royal bodies and even the military commanders, they traded the things that was required by them. They allowed to be traded in their regime only the things which were of importance to the people, to their economies, to their countries, etc. So this was the early definition or early explanation of entrepreneurship. But it gradually developed uh, as a concept. So it began, what history remembers, or from the history what we can find, is that it is in 1680, that is, it began with an Irish economist, Richard Cantillon. He was born in France and was a member of a French school of thought. He seems to have been the one who first used the term entrepreneur in public. As per Cantillon's perspective, an entrepreneur specializes in accepting risks and ensuring the workers by purchasing their produce for resale before customers have expressed their willingness to pay. The wages of the employees are largely fixed, but if market price change, the business owner could lose money. That was the risk there involved in this. So Cantillon made a distinction between two other groups of economic agents, that is hirelings and employees, who received relatively stable income obviously throughout their employment contracts, but they did not, they did not participate in decision making, or maybe and landowners who were financially autonomous. Uh, it was the owners, or it was the person who was running that business. He used to take the risk. And the profits were not stable. He may or might not earn the profits. So Cantillon was the first author to define entrepreneurship in a rather very sophisticated way. Throughout Cantillon's life, farmers were the most well-known business people, because I think that time most of the economies were dependent more on primary sector, and therefore he thought that the farmers were the business people, the very popular business people. They dealt with intermediaries between farmers and final consumers, who likewise had unpredictable earnings and were thus businessmen. They took the risk and they also earned the profit. The German philosopher Adolf Riedel from 1809 to 1872, he built on Cantillon's idea of uncertainty to propose that entrepreneurs assume risk to spare others, that is, wage earners, from having to bear the same level of uncertainty. So by taking on risk on their behalf, entrepreneurs offer a service to employees who are risk averse. In exchange, entrepreneurs are rewarded with the profits. Frank Knight, similarly, from 1885 to 1972, he created the Chicago School of Economic and belonged to the American School of Thoughts. According to Knight, entrepreneurs can't share the risk of loss by ensuring themselves against uncertain events. So they bear these kinds of risk themselves, and profits is the reward that entrepreneur gets from assuming uncertain risk or uncertainable risk. So this is how we see that how gradually the concept of entrepreneurship came into existence year after year. This happened. Now we move on to the next part, understanding what should be the characteristics of entrepreneurship. Because after understanding the history and conceptual framework, we must understand that what are the basic characteristics which an entrepreneurship possesses. So first, it is an economic activity, as we have already discussed, of starting, growing and maintaining a business with a profit margin. Secondly, it begins with identifying an opportunity as a potential to sell and make a profit in the market. It is the best utilization of available resources, another important characteristic. Whatever resources are available, should they and how should they be fully utilized? It is the ability of an enterprise and an entrepreneur to take the risk. He cannot escape the risk. It's not only profits all the time. Entrepreneurs often work with limited resources and find creative solutions to problems. Entrepreneurs also show flexibility to adapt to changing market conditions and unexpected challenges, and that is why they earn profits, because they are meeting the unexpected challenges. Lastly, the entrepreneurs are always proactive and they are persistent in nature. So these are some essential characteristics which an entrepreneur and the entrepreneurship must possess in order to be successful or run a successful business. Knowing the characteristic, we must also understand that what are the different types of entrepreneurship is. We classify the entrepreneurship on various credentials, or they are put under different categories. First, we will discuss that based on risk, they are based on types of business, they are based on the use of technology, they are based on the basis of ownership, they are based on the size of the enterprise, based on gender and also on social issues. So let us discuss them one by one. First, based on risk. Under the based on risk, first it is innovative entrepreneurship. What is an innovative entrepreneurship? It is the process through which business owners take fresh concepts, develop them into workable ventures, and devise novel approaches to product marketing that distinguish their enterprise from all competitors and occasionally attract new clients. Bill Gates and Steve Jobs are two very good examples to understand this. So they are innovative entrepreneurs. Next is initiative entrepreneurship. What initiative entrepreneurship is? It uses modern methods to imitate the existing business concepts. The old ones, the old methodologies, they switch over to the modern method from the old methods and enhance them to obtain a competitive advantage. An attribute of initiative entrepreneurship is the adoption of technology that are evolving externally. The construction of tiny shopping centers and small auto factories are good examples of this initiative entrepreneurship. Then next we have the Fabian entrepreneurship, which focuses on that kind of company where the owner does not take the lead in conceptualizing and putting new ideas and innovations into practice. Transactions are governed by trade, religion, tradition, and historical practices. Their interest lies in following the path already established by their forebearers, maybe forefathers, rather than taking the risk or chance or making drastic changes. They love to continue on what has been in the past years. Next, we have on the basis of risk, we have another classification which is called drone entrepreneurship. Drone entrepreneurship is actually focused on companies whose owners are satisfied with the current pace and manner of operation, and they have no desire to become market leaders. They want to continue as they are. They love living in their own comfort zone, in their own comfort pace. So despite little profits, they won't alter the current production techniques. They want to continue with whatever is already there. These are some of the classifications based on the basis of risk. Next, on the types of business. Types of business, we can also say nature of businesses, and here we can also talk about the primary, secondary and tertiary sectors maybe. So here the first category is agricultural entrepreneurship, which refers to a broad range of agricultural operations, including farming, producing, and selling the produced agricultural products, produced goods, irrigation, mechanization, and agricultural technology, and so on. Second, after agriculture, we have the manufacturing entrepreneurship, which, in manufacturing entrepreneurship, what happens, they identify the need of the customers and then they explore into the resources and technology to be used to manufacture the products to satisfy those needs by converting raw material into finished product. And major of the enterprises are manufacturing enterprises usually. Next is the trading entrepreneurship, which purchases the completed or maybe the manufactured goods from the producers and they resell them to their clients or the consumers directly or maybe via further chains of intermediaries. For example, maybe the wholesalers who purchase the products from the producers, then they keep it in their stores, they resell it to the dealers, to the retailers, and these dealers and retailers further resell it to the consumers, and they have their own profit margins in between. These intermediaries serve as a conduit between the producer and the end user. This is a chain or a flow which takes place under the trading enterprises. So these were based on the types of businesses. Next, we come to the use on the basis of the use of technology. Here we have two categories only, that is technical entrepreneurship and non-technical entrepreneurship. The technical one, it focuses on creating and managing science and technology-based industries. They employ cutting-edge production techniques. Whereas non-technical aims to help businesses survive and grow in a cutthroat industry by using imitation and maybe alternative marketing and distribution tactics. Next category is on the basis of ownership. That is, first is maybe the corporate ownership. We have private entrepreneurship and state entrepreneurship. In corporate ownership, it is the process by which a single person he effectively plans, directs, and oversees a corporate endeavor using creativity and aptitude. Whereas a private entrepreneurship, it refers to the establishment of a company by a person. It can be one single person, it may be in partnership also by two or more people joining together. Assume that all the business risk and operates as the only proprietor. If it is in the partnership, then they all collectively take the risk and distribute the profits. Next is the state ownership entrepreneurship. It is where trading or industrial enterprise is undertaken by the state or the government. It refers to our government undertakings. Next, we have the joint entrepreneurship, which refers to a commercial venture in which government and the private entrepreneurs, they work together. We also have another one which is called Triple P model, where public and the private sector and the government, they all work together, private public model, that is called the joint entrepreneurship. So these were on the basis of ownership. Next, we discuss or we define the entrepreneurship on the basis of the size, which is maybe micro enterprises, small scale entrepreneurship, and medium scale. So what are micro enterprises? Any business with a turnover of maybe up to rupees 5 crores. Small scale enterprises, they are very small businesses. They make more than 5 crore in revenue annually, but not more than rupees 75 crores maybe. 10 means approximately these are the limits. And third is the medium scale entrepreneurship, a business with a turnover over rupees 75 crore and up to rupees 250 crores. A large scale, finally, it is over and above 250 crore turnover enterprise, which is called the large scale. Coming to the next category, that is on the basis of gender. We have male dominating entrepreneurship, and the second is the women entrepreneurship. The women entrepreneurship, it is defined as the business enterprise which is owned, managed and controlled by women, having a minimum financial interest of at least 51% of the capital, and giving at least 51% of employment generated in the enterprise to women. This definition or this explanation is compulsory to be followed. It is given by, this definition is given by the Government of India. Women entrepreneurship, it is based on women's participation in equity and employment of a business enterprise. Next is based on social problems. Another category or another maybe types of entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship, it is, to bring about a social change, a positive change. Social entrepreneurship focuses on environmental and social issues. In a sense that profit is more or less maybe secondary. It's not the primary motive of a businessman. But it is necessary for survival than the fundamental duty to contribute to the social well-being of the society. The notion of social entrepreneurship emerged in 1960s, but its full application did not occur until Muhammad Yunus founded Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, an excellent example of social entrepreneurship. So again, I would say that this kind of this kind of entrepreneurship focuses more on the social welfare of the society rather than maximizing the profits. So this was a comprehensive discussion on the types of entrepreneurship that exist. Next, we move on to the functions of entrepreneurship. So the functions, primarily it starts with innovation, creativity, bringing fresh concepts, fresh ideas, producing goods and services, bringing them, launching into the market, which the consumers need and they do not exist. So the first primary function of an entrepreneur is to bring about innovation with creativity and with new ideas. Next important function of an entrepreneur is risk taking. That is, taking the calculated risk to accomplish business objectives. It is known as risk taking, and it can be taken up only by an entrepreneur. Next function is job creation. That is producing work possibilities for workers, giving employment. Entrepreneurs are usually job givers, always job givers. They are not job seekers. Then resources, another function is resource optimization. That is using them as effectively as possible in order to increase production. Then next function is market competition. Encouraging competition is a key factor in promoting quality and efficiency. And finally, after accomplishing all these functions, performing all these functions, finally the entrepreneur promotes economic development, which is very much essential to the growth of the regional and national economics. This was the function, and therefore on the basis of the function, entrepreneurship is very, very important. Very important because it stimulates economic growth through innovation and job creation. We all are very much aware about this. Entrepreneurs derive innovation leading to the development of new technology and solutions. They bring solutions to the existing problems. They bring by creating jobs, entrepreneurial endeavors to help to lower the unemployment problem in the economy. They often play as a key role in the community development and social program. Entrepreneurs by or through new business endeavors, they make a country more appealing to foreign investors. Because the better the business environment in an economy is, the more the confident will be the foreign investors to invest in countries' industrial growth, uh, invest their money and take more and more risks. So it is the entrepreneurship which helps, in appealing or maybe bringing in more foreign investments. They also help economies adjust to the shifting market condition by fostering flexibility. How to control the production, how to increase the production or reduce, including both of them. What substitute production should be brought in order to do away with maybe the older ones, bringing in no new technology into the market, so that you keep you keep growth and development intact of any community. These are all functions performed by an entrepreneur, and therefore uh, they are quite important in an economy to be ignored. And the innovative solutions that they bring, they are used by them to tackle the social issues also at the same time. They make the lives of the people by creating more innovative products. They bring more comforts, they bring more luxury to the lives of the people. They help in improving the quality of life, the quality of quality or life index of the people. But after discussing so many things, the characteristics, the functions, the importance, still there is one thing that we should not overlook. That is, in Indian context especially, what are the challenges which are faced by the entrepreneurs? Indian entrepreneurs, they often face lots of challenges. For example, maybe they have to first understand, tackle and survive the era of globalization. It is a tough competition, and people are, you know, uh, their competitors are there hands on for that. So they have to understand that, they have to tackle that, and they have to follow the marketing. To do that, they have to follow the marketing techniques that are result and consumer oriented. They have to improve their production process now and then, and they have to produce high quality goods. They have to take maximum advantage of all the opportunities that are existing. Maybe we can say that after liberalization, since 1991, we have seen a very smooth growth and development of entrepreneurial environment in the country, and it is moving on and on. Uh, they they have to replace outdated technology, which is the biggest challenge. And with the improved modern ones, they have to motivate and properly manage the needs and expectations of people living in the society. They have to upgrade themselves. They have to bring something new, which is maybe there or which is already existing in the developed market, and our consumers also want it in their country. So and at the same time, they have to very professionally manage all the financial activities of the business also, and they have to balance the profit earning capacity and social welfare activities at the same time. It's not only profit and wealth maximization and ignoring the social welfare activities, because one thing he has to keep in mind, that he's not performing or he's not working on an island. whatever the side effects of his business, for example, maybe the pollution, maybe other things which are the output of side output of working in an industry, running an industries are that is faced by the people. He has to keep a check and control on that also. So there are so many challenges he is facing in Indian context, but still the entrepreneurial environment has to be maintained and has to be continued. So to conclude the session, introductory session, which was an overview about the entrepreneurship, let me just say that entrepreneurship, it is a tendency of a person to organize a business of his own and to run it profitably, using all the qualities of leadership, decision making, and managerial caliber. The central task of the entrepreneur is to take moderate risk and invest money to earn profits by exploiting an opportunity. For this, he must possess farsightedness to perceive an opportunity so that he can exploit it well in time, in order to earn good profits also at the same time. Although an entrepreneur has to perform diverse function, yet he must manifest many qualities in himself to be a good entrepreneur. So this was about entrepreneurship, an introduction in this session. Next, we will continue on to understanding that how he should be further following to develop as an entrepreneur. Thank you so much.